And finally, new rule, you can't spend the first half of a debate bitching about how immigrants are ruining the country, and the second half on the uplifting stories of your immigrant parents. The Republicans all talk about building walls and deportations and making people learn English. And then John Kasich. My grandmother was an immigrant who could barely speak English. Ted Cruz. My father was an immigrant from Cuba who didn't speak English. Marco Rubio. My parents arrived with no money, barely speaking English. And of course, Donald Trump. My father was an orangutan from Borneo who didn't speak any English at all. Yeah, it's pretty funny how Cruz and Rubio can wax nostalgic about their dishwasher father and hotel maid mom, and in the next breath tell you who they want to kick out of the country. Maids and dishwashers. And I must say this puzzles me because while Republicans generally do lack the empathy gene, that is, the ability to see other people suffer and then make the complicated leap to, I wonder if that hurts. There is an exception to this. They do often get on the humane side of an issue when it hits them right in their own home. For example, Dick Cheney is so conservative he got an artificial heart just to make sure he never felt sorry for anyone. But he's a big supporter of gay marriage because he has a gay daughter and he needs to stay on her good side in case he needs a kidney. Likewise, Jeb Bush has been very compassionate about Mexican immigrants because he married one. One of the good ones, I'm sure. Jeb also had a fairly enlightened drug policy because his daughter had a serious problem with cocaine. Although on the bright side, at least someone in that family is high energy. But that is the pattern. Jeb is a lockstep conservative, but enlightened on Mexicans because of the wife, and cool about drugs because of the daughter. And of course, a strong supporter of special needs education because of his brother. Always scolds. Or take the abortion issue. Dan Quayle was 100% pro-life. And then he was asked what he would do if his own daughter got pregnant, and he said, quote, I would counsel her and talk to her and support her on whatever decision she made. Oh, I see. Your daughter gets a choice. Unwanted children are for strangers. You know, Lady Gaga sang a song at the Oscars Sunday called Till It Happens to You. It's like that. It has to happen to them. It explains why John McCain supports every form of war ever invented, and some he just fantasizes about in the shower. But torture? No, because he was tortured by Sarah Palin. It explains why Ronald Reagan suddenly cared about AIDS only after it struck his friend Rock Hudson, and why Nancy Reagan got religion on stem cell research after Ronnie got Alzheimer's. And it explains why Newt Gingrich gave up hunting after he married an owl.
Don't look at me to back you up on that.
On so many issues, you can only get Republican support if it touched one of their own, which is not good news for the environment. I've heard the question many times, when will Republicans stop denying climate change? I'll tell you when one of them can be convinced they personally suffered from it. And if the gods of irony are listening, please make this happen. The oceans are dying, and all the fish in them are disappearing, which is why starving sharks swim closer to the shore now and bite more people. And I'm sorry, but one of those people has to be Chris Christie. Let him lose one of the arms he uses to shovel food into his mouth, and maybe he will realize we should do something about our dying oceans. John Kasich wants a moratorium on all regulations. Okay, but then please let there be some kind of mix-up with the pipes, and the only water John Kasich gets to drink from now on is from Flint, Michigan. Let James Inhofe be mauled by a disoriented polar bear. Let Rush Limbaugh get attacked by a swarm of dying bees, and the Koch brothers be swallowed up by a fracking-induced earthquake. And to slap the global warming denial out of Marco Rubio, whose own state of Florida is one of the most likely places to be inundated by rising oceans. His own home must get flooded, and Marco must be swept out to sea and washed up all the way back to Cuba, where we will find out that Marco Rubio really is Elian Gonzalez.